Red is on, red is on, red is on, red is back. Ladies and gentlemen, we inside another episode number 6 of this exciting series, Endeavoring Entrepreneurs. Today we're taking it a little different. I'm alone today. I am all by my lonesome. I'm not lonely. I'm alone. There's a difference. I am alone, but I'm not lonely. So we had an interesting week, an interesting top couple weeks as a matter of fact, and have a nice. Well, you all would have seen the little banner if you had logged in a little earlier. But we'll get back to that in a little bit. But we have a very interesting day today because I want to talk about some things. But for the last couple of weeks, I had some very interesting guests, and we had Crystal McClutchy from Makeup by Chris and Nigel Jordan, Twigs Natural, on the very first episode. And boy, we had a blast. Some interesting concepts were shared, some interesting philosophies, some interesting viewpoints. And we had some people calling in, not calling, but some people commenting on the chat and dropping some information and some value in the whole process. And then later in the week, we had my boy himself, Adrian, the voice, from Fresh Voices Production, Adrian Frederick, coming and also dropping some value and giving his perspective on business and why he decided to get into business and you know what he plans to do in the future and all that kind of stuff. Some real nice. Listen, guys, go back in the archives and see what's happening. You know, but I'm just giving a little quick recap for those who would have missed and were not aware of what happened. And then we had a generational gap, so to speak, being bridged by Mr. Kyron Regis. Who did I say Kyron Regis, boy? I don't know why Kyron Regis always thinking I know what Kyron Regis, right? There's the TV man. Kyron Jeffers, a young film producer, and also is in the process of mentoring people, even as a young man in his 30s. And then we had, on the flip side, we had somebody much older, a gentleman who's been in business for over 50 years, had his own business, in fact has his own business for a couple decades as well, Mr. Samuel George, Sam G Enterprises, and boy, them fellas share value. Sam G, nah, listen, guys, you have to go back and watch the episode and hear what them guys had to share. So we had an amazing week that week. And then this week gone, we had who we had? Yes, we had Patrice James, Mark Manmohan, and we had Ivan Mark joining in and giving some serious perspective. With that particular one, we had Patrice, who is to coin out a phrase that she used, I think she coined the phrase, to use that term rather, momtrepreneur. So she's a mother, but she's also an entrepreneur, and trying to show, you know, a sense of balance between. By the way, if you're hearing little noise noise, because we're having some bad weather in Trinidad. I just heard some thunder roll. You might hear it on the mic. If you listen good, you might hear it. I was looking at some clips being shared on WhatsApp and whatnot. We're having some bad weather in Trinidad right now. Well, you all know there's a storm passing through the Caribbean, and well, we feeling some things already. Let's just put it that way. And I'm right at home. I am hearing some bad weather. I'm looking at some clips where we had some trees falling and places already starting to flood. And I saw one clip where a portion of a roof was just blown off and thrown on the high tension wire and sparks and all that kind of drama. So guys, be careful out there. So I just let you know, if you're hearing little noises, we just having bad weather in Trinidad at this point in time. So I'm saying Patrice tried to bring some balance and show how you can still be successful and thriving in business, even though you might be a mother, you're a wife, as the case may be. She supports her husband, who also supports her. They have a nice thing going. Mr. King James, let me say a big up to Mr. Cordell King James at this point in time. And Patrice is actually homeschooling her children in the process. So it's not like most people, where your children gone for the day for 5, 6, 8 hours, they're gone. And no, they're right in the mix, and she had to find a way to juggle that, and she does it remarkably. And then we had Mark Manmohan, who is properly employed on one side, but still finds time to have a good and properly running business on the other side. Let me just check a couple things here. Right. Nice. So I'm seeing some people logging in already. Let me say hello to the folks who already logged on. And feel free to drop some comments. Just say hello, drop a big up to somebody, probably one of the guests who was here before. I'm pretty sure some of them logged on even now. Just say hello to so, as the case may be. And then we had yesterday, episode number 5, we had the focus was on education, and we had a trainee born who is now living in the States and doing some remarkable stuff, Miss Sherma Richards Aparicio. And we also had Mr. Gregory Ford, who is still in Trinidad. I say still because you don't know. I'm pretty sure Sherma probably never thought she would have been in the States. Hey, you see what I mean? Look, Sherma is on. Sherma, and as a matter of fact, I just came off, just before coming on here, Sherma's cooking show that she does online on Zoom, and she did it was pulled pork with jackfruit and coleslaw, and boy, I could have almost taste that because I'm listening at the comments, I'm watching everything, I'm looking at the the preparation, I'm looking at the how it turned out, how the food looks. Somebody told me once, which I didn't agree with at the time because I didn't understand what they were saying. But a friend of mine who did some studies at hotel school, we used to call it in Trinidad at the time, he says people eat first with their eyes. And he and I had a little thing, and I didn't quite understand at the time, but it's true. People eat first with. If you've seen something for the first time, you decide whether you eat it or not based on what you see, because you can't taste it, and you will want to taste it based on what you see. So people first eat with their eyes, and it took me a while to understand what he was saying, but he was quite right. So, and when I looked at what Sherma was doing there, and boy, the thing looked good. So Sherma, thanks for inviting me, thanks for sending the invite, and I will be a regular on your show. Even if it reached the point where you begin to charge, which I suppose you would do, and I would honestly hope so, because it's up to individuals what they want to give away for free, but people also need to respect the value that people are giving them for free. And if they decide I might have to put a little charge on this because it costs them one way or the other, she might have to pay for whatever she cooking, she might have to pay for that. So if I have no problem, she charge a little thing, you getting value, well, pay for it now. If it's that valuable to you, you pay for all kind of things, why not pay for that? So I don't have a problem with that. So Sherma, whatever you decide to do, you know that Red supporting 100%. And we're going to do a live episode on Red with you in full action, in full flight. We're going to talk about that. Let me say hello to Mr. Alexander Amadeus, also on. And he was the other person with Sherma yesterday. And boy, listen, I tell you, I felt like I was in school again. These guys have a serious academic background. And what is amazing is the simplicity with which they operate, the level of genuinity, if there's such a word. They're so free and open and genuine in what they do, and they just love helping people. And Sherma made that point yesterday. Your motivation should be tied to helping people. If at the end of the day it's just about you, forget that. You had to be able to give something. Give something, man. Give something. Help somebody. We have Patrice James on, and this is exciting to me. I have some of my former guests logging on. Patrice James, blessings to the Red family. Thank you, Patrice, and blessings to the Royal family. We're going to talk about that. Blessings to the Royal family. Yes, Sherma says we love that. Sherma, definitely. That is something that let's put that in the calendar. We just had to set a date, but let's from now, that's a done deal. That is a done deal. Resize America live on Red. That we're gonna make a big thing. Gonna do some promotion, and I'll do a little promo video and all kind of thing and make that a scene. We're doing that. So today, what I want to do today. So today. Before I come to that, as usual, if you're liking what you're seeing, you're liking what you're hearing, you're liking what we've been doing so far, you're getting some kind of inspiration, you're getting education, you've been motivated in one way or the other, please share, like, subscribe, follow, whatever, all the Twitter handles, everything there, Instagram, everybody there. Just connect to us and let's try to take this thing to another level, because you notice again, like Shoma, I'm just giving this because I feel I've been blessed with some things over the years. There are people who've contributed one way or the other to my life to bring it to the point that it is, and this is one way I feel I could give back to society. Some people call it paying it forward, some people pay forward, pay back. Well, I just paying it. I just want to give something, because if people didn't give into me, into my life, I wouldn't be here. That's just the reality of it. So it's only fair that I do the same and not give back to them, but give to, because they didn't give me because I gave them anything. They just gave me. So I am looking to see how I can just give people the same way. That's what I'm just giving. So what we want to do today, a very interesting topic, and feel free again, guys, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. You know when we live. Every time we go live, you'll get a little ding, a little note in your email, whatever, something that you will know we are live. And you'll notice there's a progression. We started very, very simple doing this thing, and now we get fancy with all kind of graphics and thing running on the screen, all kind of nice thing happening. We developing, we growing from stage to stage. If at the end of the day you're not growing, something wrong. They say the only constant in life is change. So if you're not changing, then you just constant in debt. You're not, something wrong. If you're not changing, or things in your life not changing, or your circumstances not changing, something is wrong, folks. Something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. And growth speaks of change. Change speaks of growth. One way or the other. You're either growing stature, you're growing in strength, you're growing texture, you're growing look, something has to change once there is growth. So what I want to talk about this evening, very, very interesting topic. And let me just run the billboard again so you can see it. We're talking about this: friends and business. And after saying now, but just let me talk about this thing again, because I'm sure you would have heard the term, there's no friend in business. And usually when people say that, they say it with a kind of attitude, of friend in business. I want to challenge that. And you notice in the past, some of the past episodes, I've challenged a lot of things. Like yesterday, I think, or the day before, I saw somebody post one. And I did an episode around this, but just to mention this thing about if you hang around with 5 of certain types of people, then you will be the 6th. And I will be. So it doesn't matter what I do, I just have to hang around them and I will be. You don't find something wrong with that? Because that's all it's saying, no? They never give an explanation how come, They just say you will be. So all you have to do is hang around them. Just be in their presence. That's all. Don't think, don't act, don't do nothing. Just be around them and suddenly you will be. That makes sense? No. And I will challenge things like that. I've challenged the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and I gave a perspective on that and all that kind of drama. So I want to challenge this thing because talking about business. These 3 weeks is a 9-episode series. But I decided to, actually I had a last minute cancellation for this episode, and that kind of just fit the frame. So I said, no problem, we show how to go on. So I said, let me talk about this friend in business. And I try and a certain person might be locked on now and would know what I'm talking about, or I'm trying not to say certain things. Shoma say yes, challenge that statement. Yes, Shoma, I'm going to challenge it. There's no friend in business. I want to say I categorically disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. I disagree with that 100%, and I'll tell you why. Now I know why people say it, but here's the problem. a lot of things people say is because they had a bad experience, so they want to make it a point now. I went through this, so you see that, bro, and they say what they had to say. So apparently somebody must probably had a bad experience doing business with a friend. So they make a big thing. There's no friend in business. So across the board, once me and you doing business, then we cannot be friends. I want to frantically, whatever word you want to use, categorically disagree with that. And likewise, I could use my own experience and I could talk about other people's experiences to show my point. You see this? Let me use this as a starting example. We here having this conversation on social media because of friends. I have the kind of skills and knowledge I have today to be able to do this. And I mean, it's a little studio, nothing fancy, but I have held my own against guys on an international plane. We recently completed an international event. My company was asked to be part of the production. Over 60 countries, live, using Zoom, integrated Zoom and vMix and other software. Live to YouTube and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I'm not Steven Spielberg, I'm not George Lucas, but I could hold my own. I have some knowledge, I have some skills. But I only have that because a friend took the time to mentor me in business and actually did business with me. We have my company, Sunlight Studios, that's the company that produces Red, my other company. We have done a number of productions successfully for a number of companies, Trinidad and Tobago. We've done stuff for B-Mobile, for Guardian Limited, Slam 100.5, Vibe City 105, a number of different people. We've done stuff on national levels, at corporate level, industrial, and so on. At every point of the road, I chose to work with my friends. And as a result of that, we've had great success. As a matter of fact, there were situations where I was forced to bring in people who weren't my friends, who were just, well, I won't say just man of the street, but they're in the industry, probably somebody else's friend, they work for other people. But the level of support I got from my friends, didn't get from them. If I had gone the route of there's no friend in business, I might have chosen not to work with my friends. Turnout might not have been what it is today. Now again, I always say this, I understand what they're trying to say, but the thing I feel this statement is wrong. Yes, I understand you need to be careful of who you do business with, whether friend or family or anybody else. Because let me give you an example. I employed a friend at one time, and the relationship started okay. Remember, I employee, I'm his boss, I pay you at the end of the day. So I mean, he wanted, and furthermore, it's not that he was even very skillful in the things that we were doing. So I was actually training him. So I had like an apprentice, so he getting paid to learn. So, but after a while, I realized like he started to get a little cool towards me. I'm watching, there's something wrong. All the time we moving good. Now that you working with me, all of a sudden, you just get cool. Why? How come? So we're working, we're going through paces, but I realize on the job, like the tension just rising. I try to figure it out. So I'm now looking at what I am doing. Am I giving him too much? Am I expecting too much from him? And when I weighed out, I said, nah. I've been very reasonable. At the end of I decided to deal with it head on at night after an event. I said, Brad, come, let me ask you this. I noticed so, think, this is what I observed, blah, blah, blah. Talk to me straight. We're supposed to be friends. Talk to me. You know what the man said? He said, but he's your friend, boy. I feel you're not supposed to treat me so hard. I said, what did you? I said, Brad, this is a business we're running. I have a client to satisfy. At the end of the day, I have to pay you. You don't think it's fair that you work for your pay? The bottom line is, in his mind, this is boss, this is friend. In his mind, the gap was too uneven. I was too much of a boss and less of a friend. He wanted to be more of a friend and less of a boss. Nah, man. Nah, well, that was done, right? We remain friends, but the work relationship had to come to an end because that didn't make sense. So I understand when people talk about there's no friend in business, because some people don't know how to draw the line. So they feel because they are your friend, you're supposed to treat them unlike other employees. The other side is that they feel they should get special treatment. So maybe they should get paid more than the other people who are not your friends. They should get longer breaks. They should get special privileges. Why? If you call yourself my friend, then you're supposed to be equally concerned of the success of my business, especially if that's what you're relying on. If if you depending on the job that we're doing through my company, you don't think it makes sense that you be diligent enough to make sure that the job's successful? Even if it's just from that selfish perspective, just to make sure you are properly treated. You don't think it makes sense to show concern for the business, because that's what's sustaining you? But you see, some people don't know how to draw that line. So they want to talk to the boss anyhow because the boss is your friend. I seen a quote from Shoma here, and I want to bring in my people one time. Some people need to revise the meaning. Exactly, Shoma. Revise the meaning of the word friend. And that's the other part I was coming to. So some people don't know where to draw the line. So the boss is your friend. And in most cases, you all were friends before they became your boss. So somewhere along the line, you still don't know how to treat with that person as your boss. So you want to talk to them anyhow. The same kind of conversations you would have outside of the job, you want to have that in the job. Why? Because he's your friend. And when the boss will be hard on everybody else, you expect the boss to be a little more lenient on you because he's your friend. He's not their friend. He's your friend. No. A friend. Thank you, Shoma. A friend is, I'm going to show it on the screen. A friend is a builder, not a taker. And that's the flip side of it. If that is the person that you have working with you, and I'm saying working with because it could be an employee or it could be a business partner where you all have shared responsibilities and however your percentage payment thing, whatever thing, or they have a partnership. But if that person is your friend, they will be given the extra to build, because when they, as we said, we grow when you grow. So if the company grows as a result of my input, then I turn out better as well. But some people it's just about them. Now, and here the funny thing, they're genuinely friends, They are genuine friends, But they just can't draw that line when it comes to the business. They don't know how to do that. They don't know how to do that. So, one, because we're talking two friends, right? So, one friend who is the boss let's deal with two scenarios. We're talking about a boss employee. We'll do that partnership just now. So one friend who is the boss, have to treat with the other friend who is the employee. The employee needs to understand this relationship. You see, when it comes to the work, yes, we are friends, but the priority is on this professional relationship, boss to employee. The friendship don't go out the door, but you first need to respect this, because this putting money in your pocket. You need to respect this. Now, likewise, this also needs to respect that, because don't now try to take advantage because it's your friend. You now expect them to give more. That is also wrong. It has to be balanced. If they're employee, they're employee. You deal with the friendship part after. You don't expect more from them just because they're your friend. That's also wrong. If we're dealing as boss to employee, that is one relationship. We deal with that. If you want to temper it with your friendship, that is all well and good. But if you choose not to, we need to respect each other at this level. I'm your boss, you're my employee. We have that level of respect, and we meet head to head, and we're good. Outside of that, we could be friends. We as we say in Trinidad, we knock glass, we eat our doubles, we ting, we lime, we go beach, whatever. As friends, I come visit by you, we lime, we play card. You visit by me, we go here, we eat a KFC, we eat a pizza, whatever. As friends. But when we come to the job, I'm your boss. You working for me, not with me. So let me deal with that one now. So the other side is you have this scenario where it mightn't be a boss-employee scenario. It might actually be people working together. So we have a partnership. Now, usually in a partnership scenario, there are shared responsibilities or designated responsibilities. So 3, 4, how much people involved in the partnership? 2 maybe. So I will be responsible for X, you will be responsible for Y. Then friendship needs to take a backseat and respect that level of relationship too. Because you can't suddenly, quote unquote, tread into my territory just because we're friends, and you could do what you want, and I should understand. No, not I should understand. Come to me. Because you know what? Let's just say as a result of your action, something negative was to happen to the company. You know the first thing you say? But you in charge of that section. So you didn't realize I was in charge of this section when you override me to do what you do, hoping it would have worked out. Now that it didn't work out good, suddenly you now realize I in charge of that section. Now those are the dangers. Why I say I understand when people say there's no business friendship in business. I understand that. However, those are just the negatives, and unfortunately, I don't know if it's how we've been programmed based on media and all that kind of stuff, but that's how people are in general. We tend to focus on the negative. Case in point, you ask some people about marriage. No, I'll never get married. No, not me and that. Why? Boy, I see so and so, and I see this, and I see that, and I see that. And all they could tell is about all the marriages that they saw fail. But right in the midst of that, probably right even next door to them, there's a couple that has been married 40, 45, 50, 55 years. You know, they don't see that. So they don't see, okay, in the midst of all these that failing, here is one that succeed. Let me find out what they do to succeed. And maybe it's something I could implement in my relationship to make sure my marriage don't fail. But no, you know what we do? We focus on all that could go wrong. And as you say, as a result of that, nah, not me and that. That can't work. So, some people apparently had some bad experiences with friends in their business. So they make a categorical statement. Friend and business don't mix. That is a lie. I saying it, me and KV vex. That is a lie. Because there are lots of businesses running today. Some of them have turned into multi-billion-dollar corporations run by friends. Friends. They just know how to balance the relationships. They know how to draw the lines on certain things. They go home by each other and have dinner, and they take vacations together, and their families mingle, and in some cases their families end up intermarrying, and carry on the business at friends. How do you think Neil and Marcy come? Talking about the Trinidad people. How do you think Neil and Marcy came about? They was friends. For how much years? You feel like it was just a business relationship? No, that was friends. Neil and Marcy. Procter and Gamble. You feel like it was just business? They was friends. And how much decades after, their business is still running? Yeah, of course we know the cases where some of them crash. But so because that one crash, I must be saying, well, there's no friend in business, and I should choose not to do business with my friends. Nah. No. My business is as successful as it is today. And I mean, success is relative. I'm not a multi-millionaire yet. Just saying. Right? Just saying. But the little bits of success I had is because I have chosen to work with friends. And I have seen where things could have fallen apart. And my friends rose to the challenge and make sure things stand up. So I say that there's no friend in business, that's wrong. Choose your friends who you do business with. I agree with that. I 100%, 200% agree with that. Be careful who you do business with. I totally agree with that. But don't tell me there's no friend in business. Because my true friends, if they really are friends, will look out for my business. And I don't have to be concerned. I will know that. Because if we really friends, sometimes we mix up the words acquaintance and friends. An acquaintance is somebody you know fairly well. You're okay with them. Probably even have their phone number. You know where they live. But they don't line. They don't come by you. You don't go by them. Or they don't go nowhere together. Or they don't randomly meet up and drink something or eat something or just go and chill. Or they don't do that. So that's not your friend. That's an acquaintance. They may even work with you on a regular basis. That's not your friend. They may even have some skills that you feel you could use in your business. That's not your friend. That's just an acquaintance. A skillful acquaintance, but that's just an acquaintance. They're not your friend. Just monitoring, making sure everything looking good. Alright, what's up now? See some people say nice to be here and all kind of thing. Why not seeing that on my thing here, boy? Double check that. Right, nice. Yeah, yes, that's not your friend, folks. If somebody operating like that with you, that's not your friend. Your friend will look out for your business. So I am saying, as far as I'm concerned, that statement about there's no friend in business, categorically disagree with that. Sorry. Categorically disagree with that. However, I will agree that you need to be careful of which friends you do business with. Because even though somebody may not be able to make that distinction and to draw that line, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not a friend, They just don't understand certain dynamics. That's all. But it's not that they won't deliberately go out to spoil your business. They won't deliberately go out to bad talk you. They won't deliberately go out, set out to do things that could harm you. No, because he's a friend. They just don't understand those dynamics of the relationship. And that's difficult for them to process. So you now understanding that and understanding them. Sometimes you need to draw the line and say, all right, Breads, guess what? Let me just be friends. Shake their hand. And done that. Or they still meet like on WhatsApp, chat on WhatsApp. And I see people coming in there. Alright, nevertheless. I seen messages coming in here, but not seen it here. We'll go fix that. Yeah, so sometimes you might have to take the bull by the horn and make a decision. Be friends. You know, so your friend come, they want to work with you because they like how your business going, you know. Of course, they're looking for employment, logically, you know, but they like what you're doing and, you know, they feel they want to get into that and so on. You need to be able to say, Breads, babes, because sometimes it's a female too. I don't think this relationship could work. You know, I don't mind. I'm willing to help, but I honestly feel this work relationship wouldn't work. And deal with it straight on. If they're really a friend, they will understand. If they don't, then you probably need to change your circle of friends. So the people who are saying that there's no friend in business, maybe that is the problem. Maybe you need to change your circle of friends. Because, hear this. One of the main things, if you going into business with anybody, is trust. Whether you're going into a partnership arrangement or if it's a boss-employee scenario, there have to be a certain level of trust. If you're telling me that there can be friendship in business, then you don't trust your friend. Then I'm not even watching the friend, I'm watching you. Because you can't trust your friend because you feel your friend would be detrimental to your business. Then you have a trust problem. It's not even so much the friend. You have a trust problem. If let me say that again. If you and Frankie have to go into business, there has to be a level of trust. You need to be able to trust Frankie. Frankie must be able to trust you. If you're telling me that you cannot have friendship in business, then there's a trust issue. And if there's a trust issue with somebody who you call your friend, work out the maths. Work out the maths. So to say there's no friend in business, probably you need to examine your circle of friends. Or probably yourself. I don't know. But I disagree with it. I prefer to do business with my friends and strangers. Again, I maybe it's the kind of friends you have and the kind of friends I have. I have worked with friends where you make certain, not promises, but you know, based on discussions you probably would have had with the client, they had certain expectations, let's call it that. And the project turned out not to be what you initially thought it was. So the expectations your friend had, you now had to disappoint them. They take it cool. They take it with a level of understanding. Because I have established a relationship with my friends. When it comes to the business, I am very open. Maybe there's a trust issue. Just saying. If you can't go into business with your friend, maybe there's a trust issue. Something to consider. I seen a comment there from Wendy Simmons. Hi Wendy, and Wendy was on Sherma's cooking show with me. Wendy, how the show was, how Sherma's show was. Nice stuff ever, girl. The jackfruit. Jackfruit, by the way, is, we in Trinidad call it breadfruit. At least it looks very similar to breadfruit from me, inside and out. Wendy's saying, I agree. You need true friends as business associates who understand the dynamics. Yeah, that Wendy, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's just an understanding of the dynamics. So it's not that the people are not your friends. They just don't understand the dynamics. So you need to be picky with which friends you decide to do business with. But I am telling you, and you had to come real good to show me otherwise. But every opportunity I have to do business, I looking for a friend first, not a stranger. Sorry, I don't know you. I don't know your background. All I see is some paper. I talked to a few people who recommend you. I don't know if you put them up to that. And we know recommendations just go. Anybody can write a recommendation. You have no way of proving what they're saying until you start to interact with the person. So I'm not going to just randomly choose. Boy, I seen a comment. Going into business with friends or family is often a bad idea. And yes, Richie, I totally agree with you. And that's the point I'm making. However, what I'm saying is a lot of people make it a categorical statement and say don't do it, period. I like what you're saying, and that's what I'm making. It is often, I totally agree with that. It is often a bad idea. And simply because, and that's what we're saying, because a lot of people don't understand the dynamics and they can't make that differentiation. So yes, I agree with you. And that's why I'm saying you have to be very careful and very picky. And unfortunately, what you are saying, Richard, is mostly the case. Because people take advantage of that friend and family scenario. They don't understand the dynamics at all. And by the way, let me just say this one time. That gentleman that you just saw make that quote, going into business with friends or family is often a bad idea. He and his wife have agreed to close off this fantastic mini-series that we've been having. And you will hear more about that. But they have a huge repertoire in terms of their background in business management. And so I have specifically asked them to come in based on all the discussions and everything, to come in and kind of wrap up this series and give us some ins and outs. So I like how we start here about business, things you should stay away from, ways you should go about certain things. You have to get loans, you have to, ways to approach certain things to get your business started right, to keep it on the right track, things to stay away from, things that could land you into trouble, and they're going to bring a wealth. Trust me, guys, you all don't want to miss this one. You all don't want to miss this one coming up next week, Wednesday, with Richard and his wife, Shelly. So let me just get back to the topic. And Shoma is saying something. Let me see what Shoma says. Richard Solomon, but a true friend can be a mentor or a cheerleader. Both are much needed in business. All friends can't be tossed in. Correct, Shoma. And again, I think we're saying basically the same thing, that you have to be careful. You see, my thing is, and I come back to the point again, while I understand why certain statements are made, I am just careful that sometimes it comes across too blanket. It's too blanketed, and sometimes we could be robbing ourselves of opportunities to grow, to improve, to help people out, because we just take things as a blanket statement. So don't do this, period. In other words, there's no exception to the rule. There's always exceptions to the rule. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to keep this one short today. It is now 10 minutes to the hour of 6. We had a nice chat. Seeing some other comments coming in here. I want to say thanks to you guys. Hey, let me see. I like Richie, Let's feel the joke. In the best interest of relationship, if they are not mature enough or possess the right attitude, best to preserve. Correct. Yes, Richie. And that's what I just said. Sometimes you had to make the decision and say, listen, guys, this relationship ain't go. Let's just be friends. Shake the hand, and just be friends. Richard is agreeing with Shuma. Yeah, just shake the hands and let's be friends. Let's just be friends. I've had to do it many times. And today, me and the person or persons, we still friends, real good friends. But you see, when it comes to business, it's okay. Thanks, but no thanks. And sometimes you have to do that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that across the board, you can't have friends involved in your business. There are a lot of businesses that are family owned for decades. And listen, and they have issues. They have issues in the family. But the business is successful as a family business. A number of them we could call here, Naipals, Bagwan Singh, a whole family-owned businesses. But I like how Richard coming with that. It is often a bad idea. And this is where you now have to put on your thinking cap. Weigh out the scenario proper and decide, is this? Let me see what Sherman saying here. That is true. Some friends can't go all the way with you. Very, very correct, Sherman. And Richard is agreeing with that. And that's the thing. That's just the reality of it. Not everybody is in your life for the same reason, for the same season. There are some people that would come across your path just for 6 months, a year, 5 years, and they will make solid input. They will help you to move from stage A to stage B. You need to know when to let go of that too. You need to know when to there's a whole heap of stuff we could talk inside here. So let me just round it off by saying, again, I want to say thanks to all the people who logged onto the chat and have commented. Richard Solomon, Shoma Aparicio, Wendy Simmons, we had Amadeus, my boy Gregory Ford, Patrice James, commenting and giving some good value with the chat. I can't wait to have Richard and Shelley on. I've had the distinct opportunity of working for them and working along with them on a number of different projects, and every step of the way I learned some stuff. I told you, yes, I am one of those guys. You don't have to put me sit down and give me a hands-on. I learn with this. Well, not these, right? These. I learn by observing. So I will sit back, watch you operate, taking notes, make comparisons, and I learn. And I have learned so much from Richard and Shelley over the years that I've been working for them and working with them. So I know they have a wealth of information to share, and I felt very fitting, seeing that we're talking about an entrepreneur series, that they are a very powerful couple that I would want to close off the session. Of course, there are other people I could tap on, and we will have round 2 and round 3 and round 4 at some point in time, and we have other people that would bring value. So looking forward to that. And let me just leave a couple things with you. So if you want to you have a view on something, you have something you want to discuss, feel free to reach out to us, and be part of the Red Journey. You can contact us by WhatsApp or even the direct phone call, 1-868-477-1121, or you could get me at ericvalvarez@gmail.com. You could also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You could find me inside there. I think I had to check my LinkedIn account and see what's happening with that. But drop me a note, drop me a line, and let me see if what you want to discuss can fit with the program. One person asked me, because it's Facebook, they ask me what's the rating of this? Is it a rated R, rated PG? I say no, it's rated 9. I want to be so safe. Because I went to some event the other day, and a 10-year-old girl walked up with me. You is the man who does Beyond Red. So it had little children watching my channel. Now, apart from other personal values, which I have, which will not allow me to go down a certain road. But I have children watching the thing. You understand what I'm saying? Another gentleman told me he started to watch the episode, and just through the music, his little daughter ran in the room and said, you're watching Red, because they remember the music from the billboard. Amadeus Alexander is saying, I want to recommend some young business people to have on your program. I would appreciate that. Gregory, I would appreciate that very much. And let me just say this to close off. As I always say, these are just my opinion. They are not solid. I may err, let's call it that, in my perception on certain things. But of course, this is just my perception. But I would love for you to engage me. Let's discuss. You know, when I did the whole Black Lives Matter thing, I had a phone call where again we talked for like about a couple hours. We had differing views on some things, and then we had some things that we unanimously agreed on. You know, and that's people. That's people at the end of the day, and you can't get away from that. But I would love to hear your views, even if it is in variance to mine. I would love to hear your views and explain why you take a particular position. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for me this evening, episode number 6. Again, thanks to all of you guys for chatting in. And looking forward next week, we have a very powerful week. We have somebody coming in from that next week is kind of regional. It's kind of regional. We have Guyana in the house next week. We have Barbados in the house next week. Kinda. You'll understand what I mean by kinda. And of course, we have our own Trinidad, Shelly and Richard, who will be closing off the week. So stay connected to the chat. Follow stay connected to the channel. Remember to subscribe. You know, click the bell so you know when we're going live. Especially for next week, Wednesday. I don't want you to miss that session with Richard and Shelly, because the information that I'm going to try to pull out of them, normally you have to pay big money to get. No, I'm being real. Because that's a business. These guys are involved in international level business, working with large corporations. And of course, I know Richard would mention a few, so you'll get an idea of the level of clientele that they work with. And we are fortunate to have them on Red, sharing some of these expert tips and opinions and bits of knowledge for free. You want to grab at that, folks. Don't miss it. So, until, where's my billboard? Let me see if I find my billboard here. I'm missing my billboard? Yeah, that is it there. So, see you guys next week, Monday, and we're going to have a fantabulous week right here on Red.